Alright, so the previous video in this series covered PubMed, which is an excellent public health database. But let's say you're not interested in a public health topic. Let's say you're interested in an earth sciences topic or a topic that's more related to, like maybe physical science or even life science stuff. Maybe it's, you're interested in a bunch of articles about ecology or geology. Science Direct is going to be a much better fit for those kind of searches. Basically anything that doesn't have to do with public health, I'd actually recommend starting with Science Direct. And Science Direct also has the distinction of having the rare top side search bar that is more confusing than their advanced search bar. So I'm going to click through to the advanced search bar, and as you can see, it's essentially just a breakout version of the top-down search bar you saw previously. So here, you can actually set your filters before you begin the search. I recommend doing so. If you're writing a research paper, it's usually a good idea to look for research articles to actually find sources to support your case or build your case, and to use review articles to get kind of an overview of the subject you're discussing. So I am going to pull those. I'm going to set my years to the last decade, and I'm going to look for just any article that mentions soil erosion. So let's look for it. Cool. All right, 50,000 results. So as you can see, filtering these is probably going to be a little bit more difficult. If we do open access articles, it gets a little bit easier, but even that's pretty overwhelming. That's 5,000. That's a lot. Let's cut that. Okay, so what I'd recommend doing much as you can is limiting this. With additional search terms. Now you'll notice that I did that all caps flip there. That is what's called a Boolean operand. So there are three major Boolean operands: and, or, not. And looks for terms that are joined together. So in this case, soil erosion and cattle are the terms that we're looking for. As you can see, they're looking for soil erosion here in a bunched way. And cattle is sort of like anywhere in this document. You can also reverse it. So here we'd be looking for anything that does not reference cattle by putting in not. Or we'll look for anything that refers to both like the search terms that you're engaging with. So it'll look for anything that contains either of them. So soil erosion, or let's go with yeah, okay, it wasn't great. So here we end up with a slightly different, like, set of results, but we're still in pretty good shape with 70,000 of them. That's a lot. So yeah, Science Direct is relatively straightforward to use. I will say it casts such a wide net that you want to be pretty particular with your search terms. You'll rarely want to use or, for instance, in these, but a search like this might turn out, as you can see, a narrow number of results, and it'll actually sometimes help streamline the research process of your paper. So here, if I was looking for the impact of cattle on soil erosion in the United States, I'd have about 1,000 results to choose from the last 10 years, which is a pretty reasonable number, and if I do a quick scan of this, I'll probably find what I'm looking for. As you can see, based on this, KwaZulu-Natal is in South Africa. It's not in the United States. It's on like the east side of the country. So like you're not going to get perfect results with this, but you never know. Sometimes things will be useful. And especially early on in the process, I really recommend like absorbing as much information as you can by looking at sources like this. Science Direct is relatively straightforward to navigate, especially if you use that advanced search bar, so I recommend doing so. And yeah, it's a good place to do a deep dive. All right, Next up, we'll be covering the Springer link system.